Welcome to our study of verse 4 of Colossians 1 as we continue our study of Colossians. Hearing of your faith in Christ Jesus and the love toward all the saints. So the first thing to look at is that this is actually referring back to verse 3, where verse 3 is the action that Paul has taken. So in verse 4, he's actually summing up the reason why he's taken the action of praying for them. That he has heard about their faith. This is something that he's heard third person is evidence of their salvation. So we're only going to look at a couple of words from this verse. The first one that we're going to look at is hearing, which is akuo, which means it means exactly what you think it means. It means to hear. It's just the faculty of hearing. And the next word that we're going to look at is love. So we've already seen faith, we've seen saints. That's agios. Faith is pistis. We've seen those before in the previous verses. So love is our next new word, and that is agape. So some of you've probably heard of agape before, and agape is, some people might call it godly love or brotherly love. You can see that Thayer says that it is a brotherly love, affection, goodwill, benevolence, love feast, whatever that means. Word study adds that it involves God doing what he knows is best for man and not necessarily what he desires. And describing love, John 3:16 says that because he loved us, that he sent Christ to die for us. Really understanding what agape is crucial for understanding how we should love one another. Say agape is a cognitive-based love. It involves assessing someone else's needs and then meeting those needs despite whatever the cost might be to you. So when we look at verse 3 is actually the action that was inspired by the evidence of their salvation, which Paul's heard third person. And that evidence was both their faith, but also that they loved other believers. So the application for verse 3 is that first, faith does equal salvation, but you also need some spiritual fruit as evidence, and the first of that should be love. Also noting that Paul intentionally tells them that he's heard of their faith so he can encourage them, and that's a great application for us as well. When you hear the good things that another believer is doing, it's or if you see them, it's good to tell them, hey, I'm seeing this fruit in you. You're doing great. Keep it up. Not that it's works-based, but it's still nice to know that people can see the growth in you, the spiritual growth in you. The other application would just be love fellow believers, that it's important to try and help meet their needs, whether those needs are physical or spiritual. And so I would encourage you in this coming week that if you know someone who is in need, especially a fellow believer, that's your application, that you work to help them, to help meet those needs.